Hello again, fans and friends, and welcome to another episode of PD's 4R. My name is PDW2KX, and today I want to talk about the first season of the Apple TV show Pluribus. Originally released on November 7th, 2025, Pluribus is the latest creation from the fucking creative genius known as Vince Gilligan, the man behind Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Both shows are widely considered two of the best television shows of all time. And let me tell you, I am not just part of that bandwagon, I'm the guy in front leading the parade. I adore Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Both series have some of the smartest, most engaging, most unforgettable writing and acting of any TV show ever. Vince Gilligan has a lot to live up to, as does actress Rhea Seehorn. In the same way that Breaking Bad helped prove that Bob Odenkirk was more than ready and fully deserving of being the leading man of his very own TV show, so too did Better Call Saul prove that Rhea Seehorn was ready to step into the limelight as the lead of her own show. It's also great to see Vince Gilligan return to his sci-fi roots after spending so very much time in the gritty, non-fantastical world of crime and drugs. But did Pluribus live up to its hype? Was this a rare stumbling block from one of the best writers currently writing, or did maybe Rhea Seehorn fumble the ball and turn in a lackluster performance? Let's dive into the review. First things first, I hate leaving my audience in suspense, so let me get this out of the way right now. This show is really fucking good.
Damn it, I just love it so much.
Good shit. Real good shit.
Rhea Seehorn used her time on Better Call Saul to gradually grow into the role of a leading actress, and this show proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that she deserves her time in the limelight. The amount of nuance she's able to put into her performance is incredible. This is definitely one of those shows that needs at least one repeat watch, because the more you learn about Rhea's character Carol, the more her previous actions make sense. I'll admit, in earlier episodes, there were times where I felt pretty annoyed by Carol. I'll even go one step beyond. I honestly thought she was a pretty huge bitch. But the more that was revealed about her backstory, the more I came to understand her. The best way I can describe it is, yeah, maybe she can be a bit of a bitch, but she's also right. She's more than justified in her actions, even if she sometimes comes off as rude and self-absorbed and abrasive. You'd be a bitch too if you had to go through all of what she went through, and that's even before the outbreak that turned all of humanity, well, 99% of humanity, into one giant happy hippie commune.
I bring you love.
Hippies?
Yeah, they've been popping up all over the neighborhood lately.
The more you learn about the world of Pluribus before the outbreak, the more you understand and even agree with Carol's perspective, and the more you sympathize with and even pity her inability to cope with her situation. And so, when she does finally somehow manage to get past her rage and grief and anger and sorrow, and she begins doing the hero thing and trying to save the world, you end up cheering for her even harder because you know how much she's been through and how hard all of this must be for her. I also love that we're getting new, high concept sci fi shows in an oversaturated genre that feels like it's been rehashing the same old ideas for a long time now. Pluribus is such a breath of fresh air for a sci fi series. Sci fi, like most popular fiction in general, is typically cyclical. Genre tropes and their well worn gimmicks have their time in the limelight every few years. Something gets popular, a trend starts, everybody makes a show chasing the trend, People get burnt out and lose interest because every show feels the same and has the same general premise, and then everyone moves on until eventually the cycle repeats itself. And with the sci-fi genre, we always seem to rotate between monsters, aliens, robots, and zombies. I know the concept of a hive mind has been around for a long time, but in terms of mainstream media, it's refreshing to see a major TV show have a central concept that is most often seen in comics and video games. And how the show handles its very complicated central concept is one of my favorite parts of Pluribus, even though I eventually had a few issues with it that I'll explain later. Pluribus makes some very, very interesting points, both for and against the idea of a hive mind, and I think that's the best way to handle the hive mind concept. You need to recognize that you could make a strong argument both for and against the idea of psychically linking all of humanity. It is a very compelling argument that a hive mind means no more individual ownership, no more poverty, no more greed, and no more wars. It also means no more selfishness, because you can't be selfish when there is no longer a self. We sing the praises of people that go out of their way to help others. Spock once said, "The needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few," and it's one of the most beloved and most quoted scenes of any sci-fi movie ever.
I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
But when you have a hive mind, the needs of the many becomes a biological imperative. Humanity is now one organism. If one person is starving, everyone feels hungry. If one person is depressed, everyone feels sad. So everyone does everything they can to make sure everyone else is as safe and as happy as possible. And I know we all wish society operated like that normally. I know it sounds a little bit like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and that I would happily join Pluribus's hive mind if given the chance. But trust me, I'm only playing devil's advocate. I'm also attempting to highlight how constantly showing us the benefits of the hive mind was one of the best decisions the showrunners could have made. Because when it hits you that this is wrong, that this seemingly perfect hive mind does have ill intent and is most definitely up to no good, it hits all the harder because you've seen just how good some things are. But Benjamin Franklin once famously said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." I've spent a decent amount of time covering all of the arguments supporting the hive mind idea, but honestly, I really only need that one quote to summarize the argument against it. The most wonderful thing about humanity is that we are all individuals. Each of us, on our own, are capable of doing great good or great evil. We are the masters of our destinies. We are the champions of our fates. The struggle to achieve individual liberty, the foundational desire to have the freedom to do your own thing in your own way. This is why I'm currently living in the United States of America and not the United Colonies of Great Britain.
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah! America, fuck yeah! To lick my butt and suck on my balls, America!
Now that we've gotten that little bit of star-spangled patriotism out of the way, let's talk about some of the issues I had with Pluribus. Some of the side characters don't really land for me. I was especially disappointed with the other survivors, the small handful of people that are like Carol and somehow mysteriously avoided becoming part of the Hivemind. The only other character besides Carol that I actually liked was Manuso Sovedo, who I felt was portrayed very well by Carlos Manuel Vesca. Nobody else comes even remotely close to matching the kind of character depth and complexity of those two characters. I will briefly play devil's advocate once again, and admit that maybe the reason that all the other side characters felt so flat and lifeless was because the show didn't really give any of them any significant screen time. But remember who we're talking about here. This is the visionary known as Vince Gilligan, who can turn a one-off side character into the leading star of a multi-season show. You've got to maximize your minutes when you're part of a Vince Gilligan show. Saul Goodman stole almost every scene he was in during Breaking Bad, whether he was in that scene for 5 minutes or 5 seconds. The same can be said about Kim Wexler during Better Call Saul. I can say the same for Manosos, although it'll take a bit longer before I'm ready to fully commit to the idea of him getting his own spin-off. But other than him, Pluribus ends up feeling like a one-woman show by the end of the first season. Previously, I called it a strength that the show presented so many compelling arguments both for and against the idea of a hive mind. But this is also one of the issues I had with the show. Hear me out. While I appreciate how much effort Pluribus put into showing us both the positives and the negatives, by the end of the season, I was honestly a little annoyed that the show couldn't seem to make up its mind on whether or not the hive mind is a bad thing. This is especially true towards the end of the season. Pluribus begins spending too much time giving us 20 minutes of maybe this is a good thing, only to immediately pull a 180 and give us 5 minutes of actually check this shit out. Maybe this is really a bad thing. Even worse, the show then thinks it's being original by flipping the script and giving us 20 minutes of maybe this is a bad thing, and then 5 minutes of, but look here, maybe this is a good thing after all. By the end of the season, I honestly just wanted to say, fine, I agree, this shit is complicated, and you can make an argument that both sides have valid points. I get it. I understand. Now please start moving things along.
I get your point.
It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
But my biggest gripe with Pluribus is very simple. The show ends on a gigantic cliffhanger. And because more and more recent shows are choosing to end their seasons on massive cliffhangers, and because more and more shows are beginning to have reduced runtimes and reduced season lengths, I'm starting to get really burnt out on this trope. If Carol doesn't save the world by the time the hive mind is able to finish using science to perfect a process that would forcibly turn Carol into one of them, she's gonna detonate a fucking nuclear bomb. The more I see this trope of ending seasons on huge cliffhangers, with the expectation that we'll all just wait quietly and patiently for the next season, the more it's starting to annoy the fuck out of me. Especially since seasons are getting shorter, season 1 is only 9 episodes, and the wait for seasons is only getting longer. It took us 2 years to get a new season of House of the Dragon. I don't want to have to wait another 2 years to see if Carol goes nuclear and blows everything up. But I'll probably have to, and that kinda sucks.
It's been 84 years.
Keep waiting, bitch.
But even with these gripes and issues, I still feel very confident in saying that Pluribus is very good. With this show, we have one of the best TV writers of all time, paired with an incredibly talented actress that is putting on the best performance of her career. Pluribus lives up to a large majority of its hype, despite the issues I had. With the success of this show, and shows like From and Severance, I fervently hope that we start seeing more and more sci-fi shows that are very high concept, really far out there, deliberately weird as hell, but still really fucking good TV. Because make no mistake, Pluribus is really fucking good television. And that's the video, fans and friends. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe if you feel like liking and subscribing. This has been PD's 4R, and I have been PDW2KX. See you in the next one, and I hope you take care.